I was struggling to find the right title to give Sue Redman, my next guest. Sue Redman, I was going to say what? Entrepreneur, performer, thrower of great parties.
Oh, I've been known to have a few good parties, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A few
it's
good
so
parties.
Good to see you.
It's wonderful to see you too. I remember coming along and talking at one of your
you've
parties.
Actually, 3.
3? I've done 3?
You've done 3 from the very beginning. I've been running the business luncheons for something like 23 years. And are we showing our age?
No,
of course not.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It does. I got a little quote here. Funny you should say that. I got this because Confucius or Mark Anthony, whoever you want to say, if you do what you love,
yes,
you never work.
That's true, but it's a question of finding out. I wonder, statistically, how many people honestly are doing the thing they love and therefore not regarding it as a job.
Well, no, I'm sure that...
there wouldn't be many, I don't think.
No, not at all. And at the end of the day, I feel blessed that I've been able to do, and no doubt you've had a wonderful, enjoyable life, but it doesn't matter. It always comes with hard work and controversy and...
It's never a dull moment, though.
No. But, and it is hard work.
But if you... the way I looked at it was that this business... not necessarily this business sitting at the dining room table, but the business of radio or television, anything in that line of entertainment, is so... Fickle, tenuous. You have to regard and treasure the day that you're doing because you know that may well be your last day.
Sure.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I'll give you a cheers to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cheers. We're having a glass of red.
Because it's 12 o'clock somewhere over the world, Jeremy.
Yes. Well, it's after 11, that's all right.
Yeah.
Les, who spent a lifetime in the wine business, when he comes in, he always brings a bottle.
Nice.
Which is charming.
Good friend to have.
Very good friend. And he's got 1,000 stories. You should get him to come along.
Okay.
And be a guest speaker because he, as I say, he spent his entire life in the wine business. And knows all of the characters and all of the celebrities and goes back to that time when they had all those wines. The only wines they ever sold in Australia were things like Porphyry Pearl and then there was cask wine, which was
oh my God,
an Australian invention.
I remember talking about cask wine. Can I just interrupt there?
Please,
Tony
go.
Barber. Now, I did something for a promotional company and they brought out... Now, the idea was good. Let me tell you, in little... You know, the orange Tetra Brick packs?
Yes.
So a marketing company decided that they would bring that, like the small ones out with a white wine and a red. Now, the concept was actually quite good. However, the wine was lousy. But I know, look, he's giving me a big smile over there. And I think, it was destined to be disastrous. However, I went round the States and I was interviewed by Tony Barber and we had a wonderful talk about the wine and whatever. And the idea, they were saying that you could put this Tetra Brick pack in, if like take it on a picnic, if you don't have any ice, throw it into the river and it would go cold for you. I don't think it lasted. They put a lot of money into the marketing.
No. Well, it was
dreadful wine.
But it was basically... what popularised wine because people could go to this box, Chateau cardboard, and flick up the little lid, a little tap,
yes,
and have a glass of wine. And I think that introduced a whole lot of people. Les could add a lot to that, my assumption anyway. I think that sort of introduced a lot of people to wine who were beer drinkers. And an industry grew from those humble beginnings. I don't know what was it called? Cooler Bar?
Yeah, Cooler Bar.
Cooler Bar.
Definitely.
Star Wine.
Oh, my.
Yeah,
what about Cold Duck? No, Cold Duck.
Cold Duck?
Now,
Can you
I'm
still
really
buy
showing
Cold Duck?
my age now, aren't I? No. Actually, I remember going out, and us girls were drinking, there were spirit drinks and like your fluffy ducks and things like that.
Yeah.
However, I was a girl that I used to buy baby champs. You must know that. But I remember the first, when wine came first to South Australia, the first wine bar was Bogart's.
Bogart's?
It was the first wine bar.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, if someone can quote me if it's not, but I know that was one of the
could
first.
Could be. Do you remember the Pink Pig?
Oh, my Lord, of course I remember the Pink Pig.
That was a wine bar.
That's still going.
I think it is, but they...
Yeah, I think it's still going. In actual fact, I think I might take a trip to the Pink Pig now.
I think the council made them take the
pig down?
The pig down.
Why?
Well, it had significant... how do I put it?
Politically incorrect?
No, it had these really big, huge balls.
Oh, politically incorrect.
There's no way of not saying it. But well, it was a talking point. But one of the things we've got to do is to get, I think, another microphone in here so we can have two guests. At the moment, poor old Les is at the end of the table and not.
You can come and sit next to me,
heard.
Les. Yeah, come on. He can share the mic.
Yeah, I was telling Sue that you would make a fantastic guest at one of her parties, and you know all of the stories about the wine industry and the people who made it.
Pick his brains after, because I've got something that's happened, and I've just met him. I do believe in opportunities.
Oh, it all fits together.
If it knocks on your door, you have to open it. Something has just happened. And I think you're knocking at my door. And after the show, I'll open it.
I can feel it.
I love it.
It's called fortuosity.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be shy, although I used to be shy, but I'm not shy now.
We were talking about that. So many people who are in public life really are very, very shy.
I do have my shy moments, but I was shy in primary school. I wouldn't have thought if someone would say to me, was going to look into my future, that I was going to be doing what I'm doing now. No way. I was like,
How did you start? You came out of school. What did you do?
Well, I was never going to be the receptionist type. I did try that, but it just wasn't for me. And then my grandmother was friends of an advertising company who did TV commercials, and I used to see her a lot, and she sort of said to me, look, I think that you've got a bit of an outgoing personality there. Come and work with us. And basically that's where it started, having someone see something in you, and it was really good, but unfortunately...
You were discovered. Yeah, well,
is that what it was?
Well, all talent, or putting the round peg in the round hole and the square peg in the square hole, which sounds deceptively simple, but people find it very hard. Apparently, it's all about somebody saying, "I think that person."
Yeah,
is...
and I think I have to give credit where credit's due, because something happened and there was a bit of a fallout, but it was amicable towards the end. However, I think what she did is she believed in me, and she gave me responsibilities, and she trusted me. And I was only 18 then, and threw me into a microphone, and that's why I'm not that scared behind a microphone. But I am a bit nervous today, Jeremy, I have to say. Well, they always say, if you're not nervous, you've got to get off stage.
Oh, yeah, but this is a funny situation. It's sort of not a studio, it's a dining room table, which makes it somewhat weird, strange. Listen, are you part of the Redman wine family?
Yes, I'm a Penola girl. I am a Penola girl. I'm with my maiden name, Redman.
Yes.
I lived in Penola for about 5 years. However, back in those days, there was lots of children, and my relatives just sold off what they had, and it wasn't a thing. So I still carry the name, and I'm very proud of that.
Yes.
And we make some of the best red wine down Coonawarra, don't we?
Well, it is famous, yes. No, absolutely.
So... you got one in your cellar?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really
Do you
have
want
very
one?
much of
Do
a
you want
cellar.
one in your cellar?
Yes.
There
Well,
it is. There, the Cab Sav.
Yeah, Redman Coonawarra Shiraz, 20,
The Cab Sav
21.
is probably one of my favourites.
$24.99. Good price, Les?
Yeah, excellent price. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good price. I love your label. Well, Redman's label. It's been like that for years.
It's never changed.
No, good
it's got
for
a bit of a royalty kind of feel about it.
Yep.
And as much as I'm sure marketing people over the years would have said, let's do something with that label.
Oh, yes. The 12-year-old in the marketing department.
Yeah,
Be very,
yeah. Oh, he gets it. He gets
careful. I remember when I was I was going to say the owner of Decker's, but, I didn't own it. It owned me. One of our guests, frequent guests for lunch, was... it's gone.
I have those moments.
Yeah.
It's all right.
His son runs the Cube. What's that?
Darry Oswald.
Oh, Darry. Yeah, it was Darry Osmond. Thank you.
Walking information here
That's
to my
good.
left.
And he said to me, how the Darrenberg wine has got the label with the red stripe across it, and it's always had the red stripe across it. And Darry was in for lunch that day, and he said to me, "Hey, you're in this marketing sort of communication business. We have an advertising agency who's trying to tell us that that stripe is old hat, and we should get rid of it and move into the present instead of living in the past. And that stripe's been there for as long as I can remember. Do you think we should?" I said, "My God, no! Don't touch the
If
red
it's not
stripe.
broken, why fix it?
But what?
So yeah.
Some advertising agencies just want to fiddle you into bankruptcy.
Yeah. It's their job to come up with something a little different. But I recognise Darrenberg for that red stripe, and I recall when I was about 31 and I had a boutique on the Parade. I've done almost everything, Jeremy.
I didn't know about the boutique.
Yeah, I had a boutique for about 7-8 years.
Good fun?
I loved it. It opened up a friendship. It was a bit like neighbours. However, we were there was 9 shops, and we just became a community, but like side by side.
Yeah.
And there was a cafe there. And at the end of the day, I could sit at the cafe and we have coffee. And someone actually said to me one time, I'm going to get back to Darrenberg, but someone actually said to me one day, they saw me coming out of the boutique, beg your pardon, and they just looked at me and said, do you own the boutique? And I said, "Oh, yes, I do." And he said, "Oh, I thought you owned the cafe." Because we were always there.
You spent the time at the cafe.
It was so funny, but cute. But I had a friend, there was a lot of lots of wine going on Thursday nights, late night shopping after we were working. And my friend used to drink Darrenberg in the cask.
I didn't know it was ever in the cask.
It came in either flask or whatever. It was a container. And he used to always say, "Darrenberg, it's a drink of the future." It was always, I said, we should give that logo to them. But and it is. It's just, it's a lovely choice of wine, isn't it? Yes. And so, Darrenberg, the wine of the future. And that's my friend Pete, so I'll tell him that I mentioned that. He had many headaches drinking Darrenberg the next morning, many headaches. Not so much now. He doesn't drink anymore, but he did enough drinking then. But we had fun.
Well, that's what I say. I don't drink anymore. And on the other hand, I don't drink any less. And then people nod sagely.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Because in the early days of the Australian wine industry, and I refer back to the mid-1800s, the German immigrants...
You weren't there.
I wasn't there. I only read history.
Yeah.
And the German immigrants who came out to essentially be the founding fathers of the Australian wine industry, they were family-orientated businesses. And then when the marketing people in the 70s came in and started to buy whole stock and barrel into the Australian wine industry, the Philip Morris's, W.D.H.O. Wills, the Reckitt and Coleman's, they invested countless millions of dollars into marketing because then like cigarettes, you could advertise on TV and
Absolutely.
radio, and you could develop your market because you just kept coercing the public into drinking and smoking more.
I actually used to work for WDHO Wellesleyan too. Sorry, guys.
But that's okay. But what's changed now is that the young people, and this is happening everywhere in our society, the young people are coming into everything in our society and wishing to break down and change what was there. And Darrenberg, like many other companies who established an identity through their label or the way they did their business, to the young people that means nothing, and they want to change it because to them they want to stamp on their own identity, make their mark, and to the peril of who was before them.
You throw out the good.
That's a shame.
Throw out the good in pursuit of what they think is the perfect.
Yes. Yes.
Dear.
But that's the way the world is, and and this wokeness now is in the main generated by young people because they want to have their say, but they have scant regard and conscience about history and about the way other people feel.
But do you think that the generation of today, because I'm just thinking back of my parents' days, and like we were just happy to go along with it, but the generation today have more of a voice, they have more interest, and that's why they want to see change. Do you think that's the reason? I mean, look, inevitably change has to happen, and I'm not defending them because I do agree with marketing and keeping tradition in a product. However, I don't know. I just don't recall being so. Even with voting and politics, I don't think I was that really interested. But my boys, 29, one turning 28, they're so much more into it now. Do you think it's media? And that's a good thing. That's a good thing because their vote is valid. But do you think that's a bit of a change? And
look, Sue, I think we were talking about this early this morning off air about the counterculture of the late 60s and early 70s. I mean, young people have always had a voice, always been rebellious, always want to challenge the status quo. And if you look at the young people in Tiananmen Square, they stood up against the tanks. There's all sorts of examples all over the planet where young people have had a voice. What has changed now is that young people seem to think that their voice is stronger than the majority voice.
Yes.
Now, I'm a great believer, and if we talk about the Australia Day public holiday that we've just had, I'm still a believer that local government or states shouldn't set up their own fiefdom to do something that differently to the majority rule or the public feeling. Now, still, most people want Australia Day celebrated on the 26th. If I had a different view to that, I would still respect that most people still want to do that. But the young people now say, because in minority, they seem to think, and this is also being pushed by the media, I believe, and we often talk about those who are trying to control the world. It's trying to disassociate people from the majority. And this is a worldwide trend where they're trying to break down the community spirit, the association of one person to another. There's a plotted foot.
They seem to think that out of change there will come some advancement for them. And there's money to be made out of change, you see. They want to tip things upside down, and it's they can't even guarantee that whatever improvements they think they're going to make will be, in fact, improvements. And chances are they won't be. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Please.
Yeah, I mean, it has changed. But the kids of today are under a lot of pressure also with expectations. I think that the time that I grew up, like even dating online now, how do you? They don't have that communication skills. They just go on and they just flip. She's nice, yes, I'll meet her, and I'll meet her. And so they'll do multiple dates before where is that? And so that's not, it's just change. It's just change. And they have to go with the change. It's not really their fault.
Hang on a second. We'll talk about speed dating in a minute.
Oh, sorry.
We got a call. Hello.
Jeremy, good morning. How are you?
John, I've got Sue and I've got Les. How are you both?
Sue and Les, is it?
Sue and Les. So all
right.
And I think there's a crackle on your line, or is it my line? I don't know.
Might be on your line.
Anyway, what would you like to say, John?
Oh, I just wanted to have a thing. I think it's sad that Godfrey's are having to go into liquidation.
Yes.
After so many years, that company has served this state and the country probably, and the gentleman that started it 100 years ago.
Yes.
So,
Do you remember when I know it must have been at 5DN when he bought the company back? It was in some sort of financial trouble, and we rang him up, and he was just shy of 100 then, and he was going to buy the company back, and he did buy the company back to run it as he felt it had been run successfully before. And I remember him saying he bought it as it was a long-term investment. He was 100 years old, and I don't know that he lived very much longer than his 100 years. But
105, I believe, Jeremy.
105, wow. Yeah, well, I don't know. You've got a theory as to what went wrong? I mean, I know they're blaming the times or the cost of living or something like that, but, gee, I don't know.
Plenty of competition, I think, from other manufacturers, and without throwing brand names around, but Dyson has been a big competitor against the Godfrey's brand.
Yeah. Well, you remember how he used to have the bowling ball, and he would show the suction strength of a Godfrey's, and you tried that with another. I know somebody who had a cat. And they were trying the fur attachment, and the thought was, look, this thing wouldn't suck the cream off the top of a bottle. No offence to the Dyson people,
No.
but it obviously has a cat fur adjustment or something. You can imagine the bowling ball if they'd tried to fix up the cat fur with the suction power of that vacuum cleaner, you'd have no cat.
Now, your two guests, I just caught a bit of it. Speed dating is this?
Oh, yes.
Oh, speed dating.
I've never done it. Have you?
No.
No. John
no,
hasn't either.
I haven't. I've been just helping someone do speed dating, and it's. I was the girl that rang the bell. You know, the one that says it's over. Very, very interesting. However...
Isn't that a bit insulting? You're sitting there talking to this woman and you fancy that you're making this wonderful opinion and impression, and she picks up a bell and rings it. That means your time is up.
Yeah, but they're told you've got, 3-5 minutes, I can't remember what it is now, and they're actually told prior, and so they're expecting that. However, I don't. Look, I think I would probably... I don't know. Look, I'd rather go out and meet someone and
take a chance.
Yeah, take a chance and just meet someone. And, back in the old days, you used to go, oh, he's not bad. And then it was a challenge of how close could I get? As you had a couple of drinks, you'd get closer. And you go, hi, I'm Sue.
Have you ever picked up a man?
No, well, that would be telling, Jeremy.
Oh, okay. John, have you ever picked up a girl? Well, I mean...
No comment.
Well, I have, and I don't regret it for 1 minute. Because all a person can do... I don't know, Les, have you ever picked up a girl?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
But wasn't that the game, Jeremy?
Well, of course it was. I mean, you not necessarily at a party.
Pick up. Now, I'm the only girl in this room at the moment.
Pick up.
So what I would like to say, we're not talking literally pick her up. I know that. However... Pick up. Give me the definition of pick up. Pick up.
Pick up means when you see a beautiful girl across
and you expect to take her home that night?
No.
Well, that's what pick up. That sounds. No. Yeah, I've got another gentleman over here. Tony's nodding his head, going, "Yeah,
not
pick
in my
up."
book. No, I know that's.
Oh, let's just rephrase that.
Forming a relationship.
That's a bit too formal.
Pick up is saying, look, I know that you.
I know that was. I know that was how they did use a pick up. I got picked up there. This guy tried to pick me up, or this girl tried to pick me up. Yeah. I know that, but I was just messing with your head.
Yeah. Everyone does that.
It used to be. It used to be a chatting thing, Jeremy. I used to go dancing back many years ago, and that's how I came to meet the ladies. And some you could get into a good conversation, and then you'd think, I'd like to take her out to coffee afterwards.
No, that's a great way to meet people.
What a gentleman! Did you go to the town hall for dancing?
No, it was at the old Wonderland Ballroom.
Oh, yes, the Wonderland Ballroom.
It was
not that I've been there. I'm a little bit too younger for that. I just know.
Yeah, but I went there, I don't know, probably about 17 or 18 years. And then eventually, when I got married, we didn't visit the place. And the next thing I knew, the doors had been closed. And it's now a medical centre, I believe.
What was that club that Bob Francis used to run up at the Burnside Town Hall?
He used to run...
Preston
Club.
Preston.
The Preston Club.
Yes.
Yeah.
Preston Club. Yeah, Preston Club.
Yeah, that used to be another popular spot. And then the Norwood Town Hall was also another popular spot.
A lot better than this swipe right and swipe left business that the kids do these days, I believe. You're not going to get into it. You're going to get into trouble if you... It must be like playing Russian roulette.
Well, and it becomes expensive.
I didn't think of that.
Although my son... Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right.
My son says, well, no, you go what we call Dutch. You go Dutch.
Yes.
But if you like her,
yes,
you pay.
Yes.
I mean,
and then
what
you
is
pay,
that?
and then you pay, and you pay, and you pay some more.
Yeah. But let me tell you, though, my son has actually told me that the girls are very assertive these days. So it's not just about the boys. I mean, we're actually holding our own, and we're going online. When I'm saying we're, I mean... Generally, not me.
No.
However, and they're actually, and I quite love that. I quite love that they're getting in there and they're choosing who they want to meet up with as well. So it's not one-sided, and it's not about the boys. But I think sometimes the boys are a little bit intimidated because we've become a little bit too independent.
Well,
do you think?
Maybe.
Got a laugh there from our listener.
Yeah, John.
All right. I'll go, but
give my love to Patricia.
It's an interesting topic, mate. It really is.
Oh, it is. See you later, John. Thank you very much. Have a lovely weekend. Yeah, I mean it's a fraught business. I wouldn't really want to be young. I wouldn't want to be young for quids. I wouldn't want to go through all of that again. No. Getting rejected, falling in love,
I know,
getting kicked in the head.
I know, but even falling in love breaks your heart.
Oh, good, that's what I mean.
Yeah, and getting rejected is a different break of the heart. Yeah. But it's all. So what do? You just become a hermit and live on your own and read books?
Can I
of course.
Come in. This is a realistic comment. Why have we foregone the 5 Ps?
Which are?
Proper planning precludes poor performance. And the education system, which used to prepare young people, and I'm not talking about formal education alone, but I'm also talking about parental education at home, not just the education, but supervision, teaching the kids the right thing to prepare them for life. Now, life has changed and life will continue to evolve as we move forward. Doesn't go backwards. We're moving forward. Everything is changing around us. We need to educate and prepare our children better. Now, if they're having difficulties with tech because of the trolls online, or they're having difficulty, so-called speed dating, what have you, whatever the subject, shouldn't the schools and the universities and the parents be there to prepare these people for the future? Because those people are our future, because we who might be now in retirement, we rely on those people to make good choices in governance, whether it be local councils, state or federal. But these people are making choices on our behalf, and we need them to make good choices, not bad choices.